Is it possible to be able to buy a house without a job or without any money coming in? And the answer is yes. I'm going to explain it to you in full detail. My name is Monica Main, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been a real estate investor since 1995, and I'm going to share with you a secret that a lot of people will not tell you. And that is, you can buy a property without having a job and without having any cash flow coming in. I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. So one of the key ways of doing this is to be able to buy a property as an investor. You want to focus in on investment kinds of properties. So say, for example, you do want to find a property and you want it to be your main home, and you want it to be a home that you can live in, but you don't currently have a cash flow or a job to be able to substantiate that. So here's a way of doing that. And that is to look into buying a multi-family property. One of the units you can live in yourself, and the rest of the units you can have as income coming in, which is ideal, because if you don't want to have a job and you don't want to go back to working for somebody, then the ideal way of doing it is to be an investor, to be able to get, say, a 5-unit or 6-unit apartment building and to live in one of the units and rent out all the rest of the units so that you now have an income coming in. Now, the reason I mentioned a 5-unit apartment building is that falls under the commercial lending category, which means that you can use this, you can use the cash flow coming in to be able to buy the property. You don't actually have to show personal income coming in to be able to purchase a commercial asset. And so you're probably wondering, okay, Monica, that's great. I can get, you know, an apartment building, 5-6 units plus, and I can live in one of the units. I don't have to show personal income, but don't I have to put some money down? Well, the answer is yes. You typically have to put about 20% down on a performing property, and you might not have 20% down to put onto the property. So you're wondering, well, how can I buy the property zero down? And there is a way of doing it. It's called getting business or corporate credit. Now, if you don't have good personal credit, I've done a bunch of videos on how to increase your FICO score by hundreds of points in the next couple of months. And so you should easily and quickly be able to increase your FICO score. To then get something called business credit, you need to start and form a corporation, which I've also have videos talking about how to form a corporation. You get an EIN number, which is an employer identification number, which is essentially the social security number for your business. And you can then do something called credit stacking. So what credit stacking is, it allows you to use your personal FICO, which hopefully it's around 720 or above, ideally 740, 750 or above. And then what you can do is get business credit. So you apply for business credit cards like Business American Express cards, for example, and you can get a slew of these business credit cards. You can essentially use that unsecured credit that you'd be able to get. Many of these credit cards are on a 0% or really low introductory offer that they would have. You can then utilize these credit cards to be able to purchase the property, getting the down payment money you need to get your 5-plex or your 6-plex or however many units you want, but it has to be 5 units or more to fall under the commercial lending category. Now, what you're going to be banking on is something called debt service coverage ratio. This is going to be a loan that's a debt service or DSCR kind of loan, where they're essentially looking at the cash flow of the property to then make the banking or the mortgage determination on whether they're going to lend you the money for the property. And as long as it cash flows, guess what? You'll be able to get the property. And as long as you have the 20% down, guess what? You'll be able to get the property. Now, there's many times though that you can negotiate with the seller to whereas you can actually have the seller carry the paper on the property. You essentially can take over the property. This would be considered what we call a lease option. And in lease option deals, you can go in and negotiate with the seller, and you can actually move into a property with almost no money down coming into it. Many of these sellers simply want to get rid of it, especially in any kind of city where there's a problem selling property. There's an overabundance of inventory. Many times these are same cities that are going through short sale or foreclosure disasters. And there's a lot of sellers out there that don't want to deal with the foreclosure. They don't want to deal with the short sale. But if they know that somebody can come in and take over their mortgage essentially, then they're more than willing to do that kind of deal. But again, it's going to be on a lease option turn. So it's essentially rent to own. And so that's essentially how you can get into any kind of property. If it's, say, for example, a single family home. So you're like, Monica, I don't want to get a 5-plex or a 6-plex apartment building. I just want my own little house. And if that's what you're looking for, then what you want to do is a rent to own or a lease option deal to where you can get in, and it's going to be based on, you know, you being able to show that you can pay the monthly payment. So you're not going to get the house for free. and you're not going to be able to come in without, you know, showing at least that you're going to be able to support their mortgage. But you could do it without a job. You can have a business. You could show that you have business credit. You could show that you actually have a functioning corporation. If you started a corporation, there's ways around having to have a job to be able to get into a property. So my best bet, my best advice for you is, if you don't have a mid FICO score of above 680 in the very least, but ideally 720 and even better 740, 750 or above, start fixing your credit first, please. Because we are heavily dependent on credit in this society, and you absolutely have to have a decent FICO score to be able to start to do anything with real estate or with building business credit or being able to get loans for stuff. And you need to become more financially responsible if you're going to excel in the months and years to come, especially as the economy starts to collapse around our ears. There's going to be abundant opportunity for you to be able to get stuff, get houses on lease options and rent to own, you know, deals like that left and right. But you have to start looking at yourself and what you can do to start improving your FICO score. I have a system that can show you exactly how to increase your FICO score by 200-300 points in the next few months. And so I'll include some additional information in the description box below on exactly how to do that, as well as some additional information on how you can get involved in the most kick-ass cash flow real estate opportunity on the planet. I'll also have some information about that in the description box below. And one final gift for you. I will give you my credit dispute letter so that you can start disputing all the adverse things on your credit, and you can fix your credit within the next couple of months by using those letters. I'll give you a link on how you can get those letters for free as well in the description box. I do have many other videos on credit. I strongly suggest that you go to my channel and look at those credit videos so that you can start fixing up your credit right now. And then you'll be able to pretty much get whatever property you want with low money or no money going in, especially if it's a rent to own or lease option deal. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. I have many, many more videos like this to come. This is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.